Good afternoon. Hey, this is your instructor, Penny Ridenauer, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your lessons this week. This is a summer course. That means accelerated. That means that instead of about a chapter a week, you're probably going to have to read two chapters out of the textbook every week. At the 4-week mark, you will have at your 2-week mark, you'll have your first quiz over the first 4 chapters. So keep that in mind as you're reading. Okay, so this first chapter that you're going to read is about the history of healthcare, and you're going to have a discussion question on that. But what I'd really like you to do is start thinking about healthcare globally as we see it right now. What a lot of people will say is that healthcare needs to be reformed, that they ought to do something about it, that they shouldn't do it this way. But what I want you to recognize as you're going through this text is to realize there's no they. Healthcare is not organized. It is a disjointed system. Hospitals are regulated, doctors are regulated, nurses are regulated, outpatient centers are regulated, but there is not an umbrella over all of them over healthcare. And so it's very difficult for reform to happen because no one is over everything at the same time. And so all of those parts not only have to communicate and agree, but you also have to have all the opponents, the competing opponents, to agree together. So you have to have outpatient centers and hospitals agreeing, and they may or may not be financially beneficial to agree with each other. So healthcare reform in itself is an uphill battle from the get-go in the United States. But it started in how we started. For instance, if you read your first chapter, you'll notice that hospitals were the catch-all at the turn of this 19th century. When we started about 1900, 1910, hospitals were your hospital, they were your old age home, they were the poorhouse, they were the insane asylum, and they were the place that you put all undesirable folks. And they didn't necessarily treat them all that well, and so hospitals were a place to be avoided at all costs for most people. Now, as time goes on and things improve and people start to realize that these different segments need to have their own identity. You don't need to have mental health at the same, getting the exact same treatment as physical health. Maybe in the same place, but not the same treatment. And so these things started to evolve. I would really invite you to read the chapters carefully. A couple of things about the course that I'm going to remind you of is your discussion points are doubled because you have half the discussion posts. So this week's discussion post is actually week 3 of the continual course, and it's worth 30 points, not 15. It's really important that you do not miss discussions in the summer class. Secondly, I'm going to be looking very carefully at these discussions because it's the only thing you're doing. It's your work. So please make sure it asks you 3 points to be discussed in this discussion question. Please do recognize the 3 points. Look for the 3 points and go from there. If you need to reach me during the summer, it is easiest to text me. My phone number is 405-441-8863 because I'm not always checking email on a daily basis in the summer, but I will definitely do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. If you need something immediately, though, text me. That would be the most convenient way to do it. One more thing, quizzes. Quizzes are actually, I'm going to open them up so that you have 2 attempts. Everybody who takes this course says that the first quiz is the most challenging one in the whole course. So I'm going to give you 2 attempts to do it, and I'm going to open up your time wide open. Please take these seriously. There's not a lot of grades in a summer course, so I want you to be successful, and I want you to give your best. I want to give you your best chance to be successful. So that's it for this first week. Please let me know if there's something that you'd like to talk about. I'm looking forward to reading your discussion questions, and we'll see you next week.